Right, good day, students. In this lesson, we are going to be talking about trade and transport around the world. Okay, so basically, it is an easy topic. It's something that you have learned about from I think from grade 7. Okay, that's where you talk about your sea transport, your air transport, your road transport, your railroad transport, your pipelines. So it's a very easy topic, guys. We're not gonna go around a lot, just gonna dive into it. All right. So we're going to talk about the reason for trade, the links between trade and transport, the different modes of transport and their uses. Okay, so let's dive into it. All right. So the main objective of this lesson is for trade and how it affects our lives in the first part of our lesson. Okay. So what you need to know what trade is. Okay. So trade is basically the transfer of ownership of goods and services from one person or a company to another, and then it has happened since in the past. Okay, so basically, I've got something that I want to sell, and then I sell it to you. You give me money, all right? Or else, trade can also be you offering your service as a worker. Okay, when you go to a workplace, you work there for you to earn money, all right? And in return, they are you are being paid for your service. Okay, your service is whatever you do at that company. Okay, so countries trade when one is raw materials, okay, or finished products or skills that another country needs or want. Okay, so like South Africa, for example, it has gold, diamonds, and then other countries like America, they need those raw materials, so they will buy from us. Okay, or else we buy finished products from America, like your aeroplanes, or else they might take you as a person and you go and work there because they don't have the skills. Maybe the person that they're looking for is a doctor, a specialized doctor, and then when you go there, they're gonna pay you for that service. Okay, so that's basically a trade. Okay, you are going to them to work for them as a doctor, and in return they'll pay you. Okay, we sell them gold, diamonds as raw materials. Okay, and then they pay us back in cash. Or else, when you buy the aeroplanes that they make, we pay them, and then we get um, the aeroplane. So it's basically an exchange of services or goods. Okay. So goods can either be bought or sold for cash, or they can be bartered. So we can either sell them, or you can buy them, or we can exchange them. All right. So when a country buys or imports goods that it needs from other countries, it also exports products to other countries. So when we buy things from our country, or when we sell our things from South Africa to the other country, what are we doing? We are exporting, okay? And then we earn foreign currency. When the other country buys from us, South Africa, let's say for example, Botswana buys something from us, they are importing those things from us, okay? So there was a discovery of non-local objects at many archaeological sites that indicates that trade existed in the prehistoric times. All right. So archaeologists and explorers have found evidence of trading all over the world. Okay. All right. So let's move on. So now we're gonna look at the links between trade and transport, with examples to illustrate. Okay. So effective transport is needed to trade or move goods from one place to another. So basically, the reason why we have roads, airports, sea transport is because we need to transfer the goods with ease. Okay, so that is basically they have to come up. They had to come up with those road transport networks, the aeroplanes. Okay, the seas. Okay, so almost all in the early town, the world developed next to the harbors so that they can trade by ships. That is, back then, things were transported easily from one country or from one continent to the other by using ships. Okay. So in Britain during the Roman occupation over 2,000 years ago, the Thames River made London a good place for trade. It linked Britain to the rest of the Roman Empire. Okay. The river was higher than it is today, so ships could come all the way into London from the sea. Alright. So in recent times in South Africa, the harbors of Richards Bay and Saldanha were built to handle coal and iron exports respectively. Alright. And then also special railway lines had to be constructed so that the heavy things that are coming from the harbor can be transported with ease and then also cheaply. Right. Also, the airports are very important links between transport and trade because large quantities can be transported from one country with ease and fast, especially the perishables like your grapes, your peaches and oranges, to the countries where they are needed. So, but for us to transport them with ease, we use, the aeroplanes. All right. So now we're gonna look at the different types of mode or the different modes of transport. So we have the sea transport that uses the ships. Okay. All right, that uses the ships and can move large volumes, right, at a low cost. But with reason why the shipping is not probably, it is good for transporting large volumes of goods because it's cheap, but it's very slow. All right, and then could delay, can cause delay due to bad weather. All right, so most transport of goods by ships is done in bulk. All right, for example, the oil tankers transport oil. All right, and the bulk mineral carriers and container ships. Okay, look at another mode of transport, which is the air transport. The air transport is a very effective way of transporting things because things can be moved at a faster rate. Okay, people can be moved from one country to the other using ship transport. The aeroplanes. Okay, and then if you want to transport the perishables from one country to the other, it's better to transport them using the aeroplane because it is quick. All right. But the problem with the aeroplane, it has a limited capacity. All right. Look at the road transport. The advantage of the road transport is because it's very quick over short distances, especially in small loads to be carried. In South Africa, because the poor um, rail infrastructure, many loads should be rather be sent by rail are carried by road over long distances. All right. See in the picture there, we've got a truck with cars. All right, because they've just been transferred locally, so it'll be cheaper to transfer them with the road. Come the rail transport. The rail transport is effective because it can carry large volumes of things. Okay, things that are very heavy at a cheaper cost, and then it can cover long distances. All right, that is why we see the rail transport. All right, pipelines are there to transfer your oil. Okay, all right, your oil or your liquid fuel and natural gas are sent through pipelines. All right, using compressed air. All right, so here's a picture of pipelines that are used to transport oil. Okay, thank you guys. We've come to the end of lesson 1.